I'm Francesca.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Laura.
And welcome to Novel Nights. Hi, everyone. Welcome to, Novel Nights, but I know it's the middle of the day and it's a Monday. If you are familiar with our live show, you might be wondering what is going on because we normally gather every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. New York time, depending where you are. But we decided to do a little extra special episode and pop in the middle of the day so we can just talk trash. Essentially, this is a talking trash part of the show. We're going to try and do this every 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. But we're just going to pop in, chat with you real quick for 30 minutes or so and just talk about all the happenings that is going on. So again, if you're new, subscribe to all our channels so you'll be the first to know when we go live and pop up kind of like this. So anyways, before we get into it, I mean, what's been going on? What are y'all reading? Laura, what are you doing? What's up?
So I've been reading, even though I'm hating billionaires, I've been reading a lot of billionaire romance. It doesn't make sense, but they're from London and they're brown billionaires. So I'm reading like just other billionaires, tech billionaires. So I read The Heir, Despair, Taming Mr. Walker, and Resisting Mr. Kane. The Resisting Mr. Kane and Taming Mr. Walker are KU books by Rosa Lucas. And then The Heir and Despair are Avon books. They're just getting releases by Ava Rani. I've listened to them and they're great. So it's been fun just to listen to it. If you're looking for a lookalike from Anna Huang's King of Wrath in that series, these are great lookalikes for her.
What about you, Fran?
So I am currently in the middle of two books that I'm really enjoying. One is A Kiss of Iron by Claire Sager, which is a fantasy romance. It is actually our League of Lusty Ladies book club pick for January. I am surprised that I'm enjoying it, although I had read a book by this author last month and I had liked it. So I'm into this one. It's got political intrigue, it's got royal romance, all the mischievous things. She's kind of like a spy in court there. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 35% in on that one. And Cold as Hell by Kelly Armstrong, which is a thriller. It's coming out next month. And that one, I'm probably maybe 20% in. I'm also really enjoying it. So, I mean, we all need a little bit of murder right now. I think that's a good vibe. So I kind of had to mix a little bit of murder in with my fantasy royal intrigue. So yeah, I'm enjoying both of them.
Okay, sounds good. So I just wrapped up listening to the audio of a Megan Collins. I love Megan Collins for thrills and chills, but I actually just started this one because I got it in my book mail, Gate to Kagoshima by Poppy Kuroki. It's early days yet. I haven't hit the 100-page mark. I literally started it this morning, but it's supposed to be like historical fantasy romance-ish. So we'll see where it's going. It's a quick read. It looks like it's like 300 pages. So that's where I'm at. I'm really excited to just kind of see where it goes. But anyways, like we said, we're here to just talk gossip and have fun and just see what's new with you all as well. So let us know in the chat, what are you doing? What are you reading? What are you watching on television as well? Because I do want to talk about television, but I'm going to save that for near the end. But let's talk about some of the bookish tea that's been happening in these bookish streets. So first up, we have to just talk about TikTok. I feel like let's just talk about TikTok because in less than 24 hours, we had TikTok banned, then we had TikTok back, and then we had BookTok refugees everywhere, myself included. Like, where is everyone going? So from signing up to Red Note to people joining Blue Sky who didn't join Blue Sky before, there are tons of other platforms out there. I mean, I know, Fran, you have been every minute. I'm like, oh, have you heard about this? You're like, yeah. So let's talk about like just some of the platforms and just kind of the whiplash with the TikTok. Where do you think people are going to be hanging out? What's next? I had thought people would have just flocked to YouTube and call it a day, but it seems like people are actually interested in trying out new platforms. What have you been finding, Fran?
So I was also expecting a lot more like in droves going to YouTube. I do think some of that is happening. And obviously there's still the few that are going to Instagram, although I don't think that there's going to be the mass move to Instagram, at least personally. I don't think the culture of Bookstagram is very different than the culture of Book Talk. So I don't think those two are going to mesh. Then I do think shorts, like shorts, people are probably going to go there. Maybe some people are going to start doing long form video on there. I have seen, shockingly enough, I have seen some people going to Substack and using Substack notes as kind of a feed of just social media content versus kind of like the chatty space that it was before. So this past weekend, I saw a major shift on Substack notes, that's for sure, which was nice. I do think that for some book content creators, it can be a good platform. I don't think that that's also going to be absorbing the vast majority of people. I have seen a good amount of migration going to Blue Sky. And I do think that that has the potential of growing into something where book creators go to, especially if they implement some of the changes that I've seen where they do have kind of like a sister app or something that works with Blue Sky, that it's more like TikTok, which I know that that's in the works. So if you guys are interested in keeping up with that, I think the app that they're working on is called Skylight. So you can go and follow them on Blue Sky, and you can actually already start posting video content on Blue Sky right now. So if that is something you guys want to do, there is also already a lot of video content being posted, even between yesterday and today. Major difference there. So yeah, I feel like everybody's going to scatter for some time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. Let us know in the comments. One, are you on TikTok? Whether you create content and post on TikTok or you consume content on TikTok, let us know in the comments how you've been feeling. Where have you been shifting? I mean, again, we were banned and then we were back in under 24 hours. So maybe you haven't signed up for anything new, but let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear what people are feeling and what they're thinking, and not just from a content creator point of view, but from like someone who's consuming content. Because when I went to the UPS store to mail something yesterday, the girl who's been there, and I've known her for like 8 years, okay, and we always talk, she's on TikTok as a consumer.
Mhm.
And when I was like, are you going to YouTube? She's like, no. She doesn't know what Substack is, which, by the way, follow all of us on Substack. We're posting newsletters and content on Substack. So it's very interesting, like just talking to regular, everyday people who are not interested in content creation and where they're going. But anyway, let us know in the comments. But Laura, what do you think?
I think it's a mix. I think I started looking at Facebook groups because I do scroll through them as a user just to see what people are talking about. And so these are the regular readers who go back from book talk to Facebook groups and say like, is this a worthwhile thing? And a lot of the questions is like, where do I find my recommendations? Because I don't like Instagram. I don't like the Bookstagram community. I like book talk. Book talk tells me tried and true. So it's just going to be interesting to see the spillover. We also have Neptune coming up sometime soon. So that's the other one that it's supposed to be similar to lookalike to TikTok. But I think it's just going to be interesting. I think it's we're in a transition space, like similar to where we were in 2020 when the pandemic
Yeah.
happened, when TikTok started. I think we're just in that similar transition. It's a lot of deja vu of 2020, 2024. So it's just going to be an interesting time. I don't think we're going to know what the outcome is going to look like on
Yeah.
probably 6 months.
Yeah. Maybe even
At
longer.
least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna be interesting, I feel, just kind of seeing where people go and what they're doing. But yeah, like I said, if you're watching replay crew, if you're not watching this live, because we are live, folks, drop in the comments. Let us know how you feel about the TikTok ban and now we're back, and where have you been going? Like, what platforms are you joining? But if you're watching the replay of this, we want to hear from you as well. So leave your thoughts in the comments. But again, if you're watching live, let us know. Okay, gossip wise, one of the biggest things I've seen, okay, is this author being called out, okay, for using ChatGPT, like in their book. Now, I want to know, first of all, has anyone heard about this? Yes or no? Let us know if you've seen this thread. But before we read it and get into the tea, I do want to shout out Nikki. Nikki left a comment. Nikki saying, hi, from my perspective as a content creator, I will likely be focusing more on IG and YouTube. It was a big wake up call on the importance of diversifying platforms as it could just be taken away. Facts, Nikki, facts,
Yeah.
facts, facts. I think a lot of us have been feeling that way as content creators. I mean, I know I've been posting stuff on the internet forever. Had a blog, deleted it. Started another blog, deleted it. Was on Instagram, was on Twitter, was on YouTube, deleted it. Just started again this year. Listen, I think us as a trio have been around the merry-go-round over the past
Yeah.
12 years. I can assure you at a minimum, okay? And that's just being generous. It's been very interesting just seeing all these platforms pop up from my point of view and using the platform, seeing them change. And then TikTok was like this breath of fresh air for a lot of people. Will admit I wasn't one of those adopters to TikTok, but I do see the value in TikTok. And then TikTok going away and seeing how it's affecting so many people, and then them just not having a platform and an audience. Yeah, I think it's very important to diversify. I will
Mhm.
add to Nikki, if you're still watching, I think it's important to have your own platform too.
Yes.
Because sis, you
Yeah.
mentioned YouTube and Instagram. I believe you need a newsletter. I'm just going to
Hmm.
say it. You know,
Yeah.
if you want, though, because I know content creation is work, I would also say take your YouTube videos, because this is something I'm trying to reprogram my brain to do. Is I'm going to be taking my YouTube videos and taking that audio and putting it on my podcast. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because the podcast platform you own, you know,
Right.
YouTube can change their stuff at any time, Instagram can change their stuff at any time. But what do you think about the content creator point of view based on what Nikki said?
Yeah, I agree with what you just said. I think it's important to diversify, but also to think of how are you going to own your content and your audience so that if tomorrow anybody decides to shut down and close, you're not going to lose touch with the audience and the community that you built. So I think that's, very important. I would say the importance of a newsletter, of a podcast, of a blog. So, depending on what you're more comfortable creating, I would definitely try to incorporate one of those things as opposed to just being exclusively on social, because any of those platforms that could happen tomorrow.
Yeah. I think the good thing I love about my newsletter, and as someone who's been newslettering for many years, but more consistently for the bookish community over the past 5 years, is that if a platform disappears, I can reach out to them easily. I can just take my emails and just say, hey guys, this is what happened. This is where I'm at. And that gives me some comfort. So, yeah, but that's from a content creator perspective. I also love Nikki's talking to us, y'all. Nikki says, from a consumer perspective, I find YouTube Shorts hard to navigate for book content, but there are good recs from people that post long form content.
Mhm.
IG also has good recs, but favors towards trad publishing. And 100%, I agree.
Agree with all of that.
So, Laura, I often say Laura is like my Kindle and my non traditional publishing girl. I get a lot of my recommendations from her. I will admit, part of my blind side is it's so hard to keep up with non traditionally published books. Like, I don't know about them or hear about them until someone like is talking about it, at which point it's already big, then I'll read
Mhm.
it. So I'm very bad in that department, but I can agree and co sign.
Mhm.
Instagram is a traditional publishing
Yeah.
haven, whereas
Yeah.
I feel like indie authors, that's why they love TikTok so much, because
Mhm.
it leveled the playing field for them
Yeah.
so that they could, what was I saying? So that they can be discovered. Because again,
Yeah.
I have trouble discovering indie authors. So from a consumer point of view, I agree with everything. YouTube
Yeah.
Shorts is hard to navigate. Long form content, you will find good content. And IG favors trad. What do you think, Laura?
I actually think though that with the shift of the book talkers to YouTube, the shorts issue, I do expect that to get a little better, because I think that there's going to be a flood of content, and a lot of those people are going to come in, like they're going to come with all that backlist of videos,
Mhm.
and there's going to be a lot of content getting flooded in. So because they're going to want to start uploading all of that stuff, their backlog, to their YouTube platform. So I think that that's probably going to change. Hopefully, at least that's my point of view, at least on that.
Yeah. What do you think,
Yeah,
Laura?
I think the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, once they start knowing what kind of content you enjoy, it's pretty good
Yeah.
about giving you the content and pushing it forward. So discoverability and looking at those keywords, looking at those
Much
titles
better
you're
than
looking
Instagram.
for recommendation. It is much better than Instagram. Instagram is just like Instagram is kind of like old school, hashtags when they were
Yeah,
used to
no,
work.
nothing
Now
works.
they just no longer work. So nothing works. So everything's broken, and it's all. And the problem with Instagram is that it's very self-serving to each other.
Hmm.
It's like you're talking to other
Yes.
influencers, and it's all about like how do I get this free book? How do I get this free book? And it's a
Yeah.
competition. And the same goes with threats. It's like I didn't get this free book. What am I supposed to be doing? And it's like we're not here for the free books. Book Talk was like level of the playing field. It's like no, I discovered this in Kindle Unlimited. I did not know about this title. I'm enjoying it,
Yeah.
and here it is. And that's and allow regular readers to
Yeah.
connect with regular readers, not just other
Yeah, yeah, I
influencers.
agree.
Oh, one last thing, because you were saying about you're looking to look into a newsletter, Nikki. So I would suggest you look into Substack because it's free. So, and there's a lot of discoverability on the Substack platform while you're also sending out a newsletter. So, kind of gives
Mhm.
you both things.
Yeah,
So you're actually getting new
Mhm.
subscribers from different places, from recommendations, from other
Yeah.
substackers, from notes sections. It was able to grow my newsletter much more easily
Yeah.
in Substack than doing it on my own in my own platform after doing this for I don't know 7 years. So it is definitely a much better
And it's
platform,
free.
and it's
And
free.
if you still want to migrate later on to a different platform that is still your list, you can take that with you. So,
yeah. And as someone who's been sending an email every Friday, rain or shine, 365, even in a hurricane, even when Friday fell on a Christmas, okay? Substack by far has been the easiest. I've
yeah.
used every single email service provider out there. So, if y'all have any questions about that, definitely I'm your girl. I go live every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. So that would be a good time to pop in. But yeah, I've gone through everyone, and Substack for sure. I highly recommend Substack if you're a content creator just starting a newsletter.
Mhm.
It's easier to grow there. The tech isn't hard. It doesn't have a lot of functions, which you know what is good for a beginner.
Mhm.
And you also don't have to put any money up front. So you can start for free, write for free for a long time. If you decide to monetize, then that's a separate thing. You also don't have to pay up front, which is another thing because because I've been doing it for years, I love Substack because it allowed me to kind of cut cost because I needed to cut cost for a lot of things. So yeah, so consider Substack. But I hope you got some help from that, Nikki. And if you are just joining us, we are doing an impromptu middle of the day live. We just want to talk about bookish gossip, things happening, especially in the case of TikTok. We were talking about TikTok if you're just joining us, and TikTok disappearing, and how it's been a wake up call for content creators, but then also from a consumer perspective, where are we now finding bookish related content, but also other content that we love, because the TikTok algorithm was one of a kind. Yes, we know it was banned. Yes, we know it's back, but it has lots of us thinking and trying to figure, should we diversify, should we do something else? And we appreciate Nikki. Thank you, Nikki, for sharing your perspective in the comments. All right, next on our agenda is we saw this thread.
Messy.
Okay, so now it's the gossip and the tea section. So if you are busy working and you're doing something and you can't read it, the person said, actually, let me pull it up on my phone because I too am blind. All right.
Yeah,
So
I was going to say I can't read the name, so I
yes,
can't help
the
you.
person's name is Vilescas. Sava Vilescas. I know I'm probably butchering the name. Apologies. I mean, no disrespect. Anyway, this person said, naming names because honestly, this is so infuriating. Support authors who actually write their books, not authors in quotes who can't even be bothered to take out the ChatGPT prompt from the middle of a scene. Clown emoji. And then there's a screenshot of the book. It's entitled Obsession. No, Dark Obsession. It's part of the Chicago Bratva series, and it's by author K.C. Crown, I assume. So, anyway, this person had a screenshot, and then we see a Chat GPT prompt in the middle of the book. Now, all right, we're readers here. And technology is evolving, and ChatGPT has been the biggest thing, and everybody's been talking about it for the past, I would say, 2 years. mostly. It's been around longer, but I feel like it's dominated conversation over the past 2 years. Authors who use it don't use it. Some people are talking about AI generated art. There's lots of things being talked about in the bookish community. So, question number one, do you think authors should be using ChatGPT for their books? Number two, why did this author leave the prompt in there? I mean, savage. And just three, your overall thoughts on the AI debate. Folks, again, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So let us know. One, if you heard about this, if you saw this, but then also, what are your thoughts on authors using AI? Fran, what do you think?
I mean, what a mess. First of all, I don't understand how. Here's my first point: writing a book is art. And the reason, as a reader, that I am reading a book is because I want to get that art and that vibe. What is the author wanting to portray in its story that they want to tell? So I think that using AI to write a book is completely eliminating the art part of the equation. So what's the point to read that book? It could be written beautifully. They could have deleted all the prompts, and then I still think that there's going to be something missing that we as readers are going to pick up on, that it's not going to have that feel. And that's what the author is bringing to their stories. So, yeah, for me, an author writing a book with AI, obviously, this was an easy way for us to be able to tell. It's going to get harder to tell if authors are doing that. But yeah, I don't think that the AI debate should be part of that equation. Now, I don't mind if an author is using some sort of AI in like writing a tweet or things like that, like it's if they're using it as an assistant to some of their mundane admin tasks, that's fine. But when they're actually writing their story, which should be their art, like that would be their job, is that's their art, I don't think that that should be involved. And I mean, as far as the author leaving that thing in there, come on. First of all, the author left it in there. I guess nobody edited or like beta read that book, or like nobody else looked at it, because how many people probably it should have gone through. So obviously nobody was hired to do any of the other work on that book.
I mean,
She didn't even run it again through ChatGPT, so that it would have been like, oh, I think you left something in here you need to delete.
I don't get it. Personally, I agree with you. I am paying to read art. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm all about, if you want to use it, to your point, to promote your stuff. If you need help with your admin tasks, because here's the thing, I use Grammarly. Okay, I am so dependent on Grammarly with emails. I mean, I'm so much better now, but I remember just like spelling things the wrong way and stuff like that. Americans don't use the vowel U. Don't ask me why. Color, COLOR, neighbor. I can go on. So in the beginning, it was incredibly helpful to me, living here, working here, doing schoolwork, just everything, and wanting to make sure I spell my things right. So I do use that. I'm not going to lie. And when it comes to creating content that you promote, if it's not original, then that's fine. If you're responding to an email, if you're doing little things, but to write the whole premise of your book, I'm sorry. I can't get behind that. I can't. I mean, I'm not even mad if you put information in there, because I saw a big debate about authors and ads and like the ads that they're running to sell their book. My thing is, you need help. Writing ads is a specific art. So
Yeah.
if you're a self-published author and you're doing it yourself and you need help to write the ad that will promote the book you wrote, then I'm like, okay, I will give grace. But to be a part of the artistic process, I have a problem
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Agreed.
Laura?
So the author came up and said that this is just, she was not using AI to write the book. She was just reader enhanced experience. She wanted to improve the experience further and asked AI to do this. That was her author's point of view. This author is probably not on social media. It gets her, I've seen the ads. So on Amazon, so the book gets promoted that way. That's how they build their follower. But I agree. I don't think you can use AI. AI is helpful in a sense of Grammarly. AI is helpful just to put things more concise and specific. But when it comes to story, you miss the nuances. You miss like the specific. It's just like I think another publisher was saying AI is going to translate books or the AI voice enhancement, voice digital voices. It's like you're missing out the human interaction, the human touch of like, how does it say? Because AI thinks it's one way, but AI doesn't understand the slang, doesn't understand the intonation, doesn't understand like how to share the story the way
Mhm.
you wanted to share it, to have the feeling. And so it's just, I think it just gets to the murky like territory where it's like you're missing out. Like, and AI right now is the worst it's ever gonna be. So it's gonna get much more intelligent and more improved over time. But it's the worst it's gonna be. And if you're even this basic place where you're just like the bold and the ChatGPT prompt, you it's just not a good
Yeah.
fit for you.
So, real quick, I found this article on The Guardian because I remember seeing it. Like, a
Yeah.
startup had a plan to publish 8,000 books using AI. So, again, just for reference, this is from The Guardian because we cite all
You have to
sources.
find the one where it has the picture of the guys that started that company, because that will give you a vibe for what that's all about. I think it was like
Ah,
5 or 6 white guys. Was it? Like tech bros that they probably thought we're gonna make a lot of money with this. And my concern as a reader is that's gonna flood the market with a lot of junk that we're gonna have to sift
Yeah.
through.
Well, it's just the same thing as Fable's AI. Her reader summaries of Fable that we just had. It was like, oh, sorry, it's AI. AI is racist. Well, you
You
trained
created it.
AI
You
to be
trained it.
racist. You trained it. Take responsibility. And it's like we're not taking responsibility. AI did this. Oh my gosh! Like,
Train it
oh
better and
no.
don't release it until it's good. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. But needless to say, AI is here to stay. I'm just letting you all know, and it's not going
yeah,
anywhere. But I would hope authors would continue to create original work
yeah.
and don't fall to the pressure. Because I think what it is they've seen the success of Book Talk and how Book Talk has sold books, both traditionally published, but also giving opportunities to indie authors and them. So now it's like a money grab. So a lot of people are using it as a money grab. But let us know in the comments, how do you feel about AI? Should authors use AI to write books? Are you okay with authors using AI to help promote the books, like create ads so that you can advertise, so they can sell, social media posts? How do you just feel about AI in the process of books? We'd love to hear from you if you're watching us live, but replay crew, we'd love to hear from you too. So let us know in the comments. So I kind of feel like TikTok, this author, AI, and those were like the big headline topics. We also talked a bit about what we're reading. What have you been watching that has been really good, just really captivating TV? Like, what has caught your attention? I mean, I have to say, for me, it's been loads and loads and loads of. I haven't been watching lots of TV, to be fair. I've been super busy and all over the place. But when I did watch TV, I have to say, I've been watching Housewives, okay? And we've been having some good Housewives TV. In particular, I also want to shout out the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because I just kind of feel like these women are giving. If you are not familiar with Housewives of Salt Lake City, see, I found a picture. I had to put it up there. These women are just giving me the best reality TV ever. I feel like they are the best franchise housewives ever. I don't know, it's giving. I know Laura is my housewife partner in crime. I know you watch it. I don't know if you're current right now, but how are you feeling about Salt Lake?
I Well, I watched the finale. I haven't watched the previous episodes, but the finale and the dinner was so savage. The text messaging to each other, it was just like next level of like dinner parties from hell. But it was just ridiculous. It was great. Francesca, so the dinner party, the exercise was we're gonna go into our text messaging, right, and say it out loud the meanest thing you said about somebody else. And the other person has to read out
Oh
loud that
Lord.
text message. It
Yes.
was just savage. The bird book, like to the next level, and the things that these women wrote about each other was just great. Except Brittany. Brittany can just go wherever she can go. But yes, it was so good. And just like Nikki, I'm excited for the reunion. it's gonna be epic. This series this season has been just like even next level and next
Yeah.
level and next level.
I am sorry, y'all. I don't know. Salt Lake, I feel is doing it like no other housewives are doing it right now. I'm trying, I don't know what's up with my images, but I'm
Yeah.
finding the other ones because this is the last thing I'm gonna say on Salt Lake, and then I'm gonna switch because Nikki also mentioned another show. Okay, the image is loading. It's loading. It's loading. Listen, my favorite housewife people's right now. Oh, it's not doing it. Hold on. There we go. I am loving Angie K and Mary. Okay. I know Mary's hella problematic, right? And she's been problematic in the past, but let me have my problematic fave right now. Okay. If you say I'm in a cult, I am in a cult. And I love my Greek goddess, Angie. Okay. Nikki, I would love to know, how do you feel about the Angie-Mary duo? It's okay if you don't like them, but they are my MVPs for Salt Lake City. I am sorry. They are the best friend duo I haven't seen on reality TV in a long time for Housewives specifically, because at that dinner, I don't cry for anything. Okay, this is not good. Clearly, childhood trauma. My parents are like, "Don't cry," stiff upper lip and all. They had me like, am I welling up right now? What is going on? I did not cry, but I was welling up, and I love the moment between them. So yeah, Salt Lake City Housewives is giving. If you're looking for a housewives show to watch, I highly recommend them. I really, really, really do. I think they're just doing it like nobody else. There's Real Housewives of New York on right now. I would not recommend that to my worst enemy. Okay. I would not recommend it to my worst enemy. Potomac is on now. I used to love Potomac a lot. It is okay. Now that I know Karen Hugo is not coming to the reunion, I'm just like, why am I even watching? And what else is on, Laura? Hold on.
I think Beverly Hills. That
Beverly
has
Hills
Tyler
is
Perry.
okay. Beverly Hills is okay. The
But it's yeah, it's Salt Lake City and stuff.
Okay,
But
okay,
yeah.
Nikki, we need to be friends. We need to be friends. Nikki says, I
And
love
Angie's
Angie
like
and Mary. They are iconic. And it was such a moment where Mary was vulnerable, which is rare for her. Thank you. Okay, so I know Nikki is watching this show. Okay. Nikki is watching this show because I agree. Mary gives me, well, I don't follow any of these housewives, so it doesn't matter. I can say it. Mary gives me grumpy, mean church lady. That's the word. Mary gives me mean church lady. I grew up going to church, okay? Sunday to Sunday. I was always at church. I went to church school. So when I tell you I recognize Mary as a mean church lady, she is who she is. But then I felt like she broke down, not break down crying, but she explained she has abandonment issues. So it's just easy for her to cut people off, and she just cut people off. And the fact that she said that and Angie was like, I'm the same way too, I think it melted my heart because I've never seen one housewife fight for the friendship that clearly is real. Because normally if you're like, I'm not talking to you, and they cut each other off, it's just like they get angry and they start yelling at each other and whatever. And she's like, no, like, you changed my life. Like, we are friends. Like, don't do this, Mary. Oh my God. Listen, Angie's always, flying her Greek flag very high, but I think everybody needs an Angie in their life. I'm just saying. Everybody.
and I have to say Angie's text message to Bronwyn was so funny. That text message was far. It was, and she was like, I just felt the feeling that way. And it was just like, it was pointed, it was to the point, but it was so funny at the same time. And like Bronwyn took it, she's like, that's your feelings, that's okay. Like, it is what it is. Like, she didn't take it like Lisa. So but that text message, like, she said what we were thinking at the same time.
Savage. I'm really excited for the reunion. Just like Nikki said, excited for the reunion. I'm excited for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The other show that has captured my attention is The Traitors. I absolutely love The Traitors. It is so, so, so good, everyone. It's a game show. And essentially, a bunch of people are in this castle, and the host, Alan Cummings, man in the center, selects 3 traitors, and essentially they're voting people out because they're trying to vote out the traitors, but they're doing challenges so that they can make money. I love the show, the premise of the show. Season 1, I mean, I enjoyed every season. I think Bravo fans love season 2 because of the housewives, and we had Phaedra. Season 3, we had some housewives on. they are targeting the housewives and kicking them off. Um, so we're missing out, I feel, but I still think it's a good show. I also watch Traitors UK. It's good. I also watch, is it New Zealand or Australia? Also
I
good.
think so.
You watching Traitors, Laura?
I am watching Traders. I am caught up. I am loving it. It's just, there's something to be said about this murder mystery, kind of like we're trying to figure out and how they got it wrong. And people you think they're like, oh, I got it. And you're like, oh, no, you got it wrong. It's so bad, So it's just great. It's great. It's a great social experiment. And it's just wholesome. It's appointment TV every Thursday night. You just have to watch it because otherwise you get spoilers already.
It is appointment TV. It is appointment TV. And it's so hard to find appointment TV right now. But my appointment TV is The Traitors and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Those are the shows I'm pitching to you. And my MVP is Angie and Mary. And Nikki said, crying emojis, we are friends by the bonds of housewives. And it was more impactful by Angie having Mary's back in private while in Mexico. Yes, that was another thing. So if y'all aren't watching, Mary's son, unfortunately, is really going through it with addiction. And Mary confided in Angie. And you know how in Housewives, when you tell someone something, it's like gossip. They're going to go tell the other person. She never did. She never, never, never did. Obviously, the other women are watching the show. I'm sure they've heard rumors and, they assume stuff. But no, Angie has Mary's back. And it's really nice to see. So I've been enjoying it. But I think I've murdered y'all enough with my reality TV talk. Fran, what are you watching and loving?
I am finishing a kind of like a trashy telenovela Colombian. I ended up starting this one after I finished one last year, and one of the main actresses in that one is in this one. So I'm like, oh, let's watch it. It's much worse acting, but it's so addictive because they're just like, they're a mess. So I'm pretty much finishing that. That's called The Influencer. And it's got like 60 episodes. So I'm pretty much at the end now. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to get into another one. But there is another one that I'm like, oh, but that looks really messy too. So I might.
Oh, it's on Netflix. I just
It
pulled
is.
it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Netflix. And funny enough, I'm watching that with my husband and he's reading the subtitles the whole time because
Oh, poor thing. But that's nice. I love that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like our little nighttime routine. We get a little bit of soapy drama,
I like a nighttime routine. No, that works. That works. I found it. I'm trying to see if it. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Where did it go? I don't know. There we go. Fabulous. So that's a telenovela. It's on Netflix. Laura, what are you watching and loving?
So I have two things. I have As the Crow Flies. We're almost wrapping it up on my Turkish TV podcast. It's on Netflix. It's so good. You can dub it in English if you don't want to watch it in subtitles. It's so good. It's about it's about newscast reporters. One is like an up and coming person who is like the best villain ever, and she's scheming and grinding and all these different things. And then the season newscaster, and it's just dramatic. The acting is great. It's really tight. It's 40 minutes. There's 24 episodes. So you can watch all 3 seasons. So that's been fun. And then the other one is Morellen All Stars. It's available on Peacock. So I'm just going back to South Africa and watching these British dum-dums, hooking up and do nothing in a villa. Because that's all they do. They just like sit around. They're like, oh, we can not be together. And they're not like thinking about marriage, not thinking about babies or anything like that. And my favorite, Ekin Sue, is back. She's a new show. So excited. Ekin Sue.
Side note, Ekin Sue was also on Traitors.
Yes. So Ekin Sue is back. By the way, Ekin Sue won the Love Island, but she's no longer with Davide. So she's like coming back as a bombshell looking for love.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, y'all have book recommendations, y'all have television. Oh, I did want to mention, Nikki did mention, finally watch Dune Prophecy, and it's amazing. So there's another recommendation for y'all. And of course, Nikki is clearly a Salt Lake City fan. Yes. So I love that. What else is going on? I think that's about it. I hope we provided somewhat of a distraction in the middle of your day. We do want to do more of this. So again, stay tuned. You can follow me. I'm over on Biblio Lifestyle. Fran is under the covers, and Laura is what to read next. Again, if you find one of us on YouTube, you'll easily find the others. We're also on Substack as well. Find one. What to read next under the covers community and Biblio Lifestyle. Again, we're on Substack. We're here on YouTube. We're on the socials under similar handles. But again, like I said, you find us one place, you'll find us everywhere else. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We actually went almost an hour, 45 minutes. I mean, who would have thought? We hopped on here thinking we had nothing to talk about. But we somehow came up with something. Special shout out to Nikki. Thank you so much, Nikki, for participating in the comments. It definitely kind of helped to keep us going. Join us. Hello, promo. Wait. Novel Nights. This is our original live show. What is wrong with me? We are meeting this Thursday. We meet every Thursday live, 7 p.m. Eastern time, so a bit later. This Thursday, we're going to be talking about magical realism books to cozy up with. So it's straight book recommendations. The middle of the day conversations, they're the trashy talk. But in this one, we're recommending books. Then the following week, we're doing some books set in Alaska. And then first week in February, we're going to do some romance stories. We have our year planned out. We have themes. So show up every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time live to join us there. If you're looking for book recommendations, I have my winter reading guide again over on Substack. Francesca has Romanceopoly, which, by the way, you don't even need to go to Substack for that. Just go to romanceopoly.com. But if you're like me and you like finding things in one place, go to the Substack, because the Substack has printable and it's just really, really easy. Fran, real quick, talk about Romanceopoly.
Yeah, so Romanceopoly, it's a year-long reading challenge. It focuses mainly on romance, but there's going to be prompts in there for reading a little bit of everything. So the intent is for you to read very diversely across different genres, diversify also the authors that you're reading, maybe try out some subgenres or tropes that maybe you haven't tried before. So yeah, basically year long, there's going to be events coming up also that are not necessarily the main challenge. We're going to have one coming up in February. So at the beginning of February, so like in 10 days, I'm going to be announcing what event is all about. And that announcement is going to go up on our YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed so you tune in for that. That's going to be a week-long event towards the end of February. But Romanceopoly goes on all year, so you can join in whenever you want. If you join earlier, the better. But it's just about having fun, gamifying a little bit your reading, and hopefully getting excited to read your books.
Yes, lots of fun prompts and some extras in there as well. The Romanceopoly board is cute.
Very cute.
So yes, very cute. So be sure to check that out. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging with us. Again, replay crew, like the video, share the video. Everyone, you do the same. And we'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.